Theoretically, they might already hear us on your channel. I'm waiting for it to show that it's arriving to my encoder.
I hope they can't. Did you hear what we were just talking about?
Yeah, I should probably
I thought
put
we
the
wouldn't have
timer
a channel
on.
anymore.
Let's switch. Oh, and I've got a speaker on. I'm gonna cut to the timer. Let's shorten it though. We'll go like there.
I hope they can. Yeah, switch the mics off. I'm gonna finish telling you that story.
Yeah. Okay. I think we're muted now. Wait. I gotta get the stream going on mine here. And here, give me a second. Oh, this dual channel stuff. Okay, yeah, I know that you think that, but I don't agree.
We have got to get you some new piano music.
I have another one. I just don't like that it doesn't have a numeric timer on there. But I like the song.
It sounds like we're in line at a funeral. You know how they do the viewing?
I think they don't go with something quite so bright at funerals, but
some of them do. Like I just in my head right now, I see flowers, old people, and flowers everywhere. Just flowers.
Yeah, I'm not getting that. Why are you still not on? Okay, finally. Let's go view on watch page. Let's make sure everything's working okay here. Hey, everybody.
They're actually lucky that they don't have to hear this.
No. They can hear it. They can hear the music, but I think we're good to go now.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm so sorry.
So what was that story? Let me kill the hot mics. Click. Okay, we're good.
Okay, so yeah, that Steve does have gonosyphilis.
Oh
100%.
no. Shit. I gotta go get checked.
Yeah.
You know what's really frustrating is I'm pretty sure a couple of my subscribers found my Pornhub channel. They keep mentioning it.
Why would they mention that? I mean,
Not like directly, but they keep like...
We've already been through that.
They just casually bring up the phrase triple fisted, which is one of my most popular videos.
Well, angles start taking advantage of the angles. You know, point of view is not always the way to go.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I think everything's... I think I'm having like buffering on the preview that I'm watching. Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of buffer go down. I hope fucking
it's the
YouTube
music, I'm telling you.
Figures the shit out. Yeah, it looks like the comments are saying they're getting a lot of buffer too. Buffer, I barely knew her.
Oh God. Okay, something came up. I've got to wash my hair.
Hey.
Fun.
I don't have any drop frames on my end, so it looks like it's YouTube. My end says it's getting everything over there just fine. Oh, you know what? It says it's dropping your source a little bit and the timer. You're actually right. The timer source got a little bit of drop also. It's funny.
Drop it like it's hot.
We'll just keep monitoring the situation. Let's make
Oh
sure
God, only 5 seconds left. I'm not ready. I'm never ready.
I'm never ready either. Oh good, we have this in the way.
You don't have to whistle this time.
Alright, I won't. I'm gonna keep the whistle to myself.
Jimmy. Christ's sakes.
Are you impressed with my ability to whistle while I talk? This poor guy. Just hanging out.
Oh man.
Oh shit, I didn't give you a background. You're all green screen right now. Shit.
Oh yeah. Let's fix that real quick.
I'm trying to remember how. It was this one.
I think you go to something with my frames.
Yeah.
Let me send,
Why don't you introduce the show while I work on... did you send me what you want your background to be? Or am I just using last week's?
Same one from last week.
Okay. Why don't you talk to the people
okay.
and I'll work on it.
Sure, I'll introduce you. So, you're watching Ad Homies. Welcome. Glad you're here. Okay. We good?
I needed a smidge more time. Welcome to Ad Homies, everybody. My name's Mr. Atheist.
Okay. Got it.
And if,
Okay.
yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Got it. Okay, welcome to Ad Homies, everybody. My name is Mr. Atheist, and on my channel we talk about Mormon issues and Jordan Peterson word salad. Was that good?
That is still to this day my best performing video. Also,
also fuck you, like, and subscribe. There we go.
That too. Okay, so I think I have to go. I remember stuff.
I can't remember either.
Yeah, I'm gonna put on the next video, and you guys can enjoy that while I figure this out. That's not the right one.
You know what, Jimmy? Don't even go to the video yet. I have something that we can, me and America can talk about while we do that.
Good.
First of all, America, we are so professional here. I mean, you are seeing exactly what it takes to do a show in live time. So you're actually lucky. This is a good thing. We are going to be talking about a video that SJ put out. SJ Thomason. She goes on Twitter by the handle Christian Apologist. There are 11 questions that she came out with that she said that no atheist can answer. But we're going to do something a little bit different. Rather than not only us answer, because we are going to give our answers to this. We're going to see what would happen if Siri were to answer these questions. I'm pretty certain that Siri is atheist. I'm fairly certain. I can't be sure, but I want to say she is. And then what we decided that would be kind of cool, and you can get this ready. We'll see how it goes, play it by ear, but it's kind of a out there idea. But we want to, at different intervals throughout, however many seasons this runs, if it goes for more than one. Just kidding, Jimmy. Where you send in lifetime a video. It could be a funny video, something that you would like, a response to. And you send that to us in live time. Like the link, we'll put it up, and then Jimmy and I will respond to it on the show as we go. We don't want to know these ahead of time. We want to kind of get them in. That's why we call them Kazakami. God, I can't talk tonight. Kamikaze, because...
That was the background you wanted, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, good.
No, not at all.
I'm sorry. There's nothing I can do now.
Okay, that's fine. No, we can leave it as the fajitas. But that was for a story that we did on our very first show. Yeah. The background. Okay, you did this to be a dick. That's okay.
I figured it was the first image I found, and I couldn't find the other one quickly.
It's fine.
So yeah.
It's fine. I haven't finished editing your video for tomorrow. That's okay.
I didn't do that in front of the green screen. Good luck.
It can still be manipulated. What you're witnessing now, ladies and gentlemen, is the beginning of the most glorious prank war you will ever see.
It's going to be wonderful
in your entire life. But welcome, Mr. Atheist. How are you doing this week?
Oh, just dandy. I don't know why I'm lying. I'm pretty tired. I don't feel very good. But we're going to have a gay old time. And actually, before we get started, and I meant gay as in queer, but before we get started, Cyrus the Skeptic is a friend of mine, and he has an awesome channel. I love it. Kyle hates it, but I love the channel. And he is at 3,989 subscribers. So anyone who has the ability to multi-window right now, I would love to see if we could make him from this show hit the 4,000 mark. So if you're over on NonSeq or over on my channel watching this right now, go and subscribe, and let's see if we can make him hit 4,000. Also, I'm like 80 subscribers away from 4,000 on my channel. And this is a little passive aggressive because him and I keep passing each other, so there's a little bit of competition. And I'm like, he didn't really get to 4,000 before me. If you guys help me get him to 4,000, so it's that kind of terrible person thing I am. Yeah.
How many did you say? How many subscribers does he have?
3,989. So he only needs 11 more to hit 4,000.
Actually, he needs 12 more now. He now has 3,988.
Did you unsubscribe because I'm watching his live counter?
I did. I'm just kidding. I didn't. We love you, sirs.
Yeah.
Yeah. So go subscribe to Sirs, and if you're on my channel, don't subscribe to this passive aggressive bitch over here. Just
come on over. It's fun. We do have fun, man. The video we did this week.
I'm talking about me.
Oh, I thought you were talking about, because you said passive aggressive. I thought you were referring to what I was talking about. what we did this week, and you were a part of on my channel, that compilation, 7 Signs You'll Be an Atheist Soon. Cirrus and yourself were on it, as well as a few others, Shannon Q, Apologia, Holy Kool-Aid, and Eric Murphy. And that is probably my favorite thing on my channel so far this year. I really liked that.
Well, obviously.
We've got some apologetics people doing responses to it. I'm excited for those too.
How do you think that's going to go? I really don't like. It's
very predictably.
Because, a couple of them seem like they took almost offense to it. It's almost like the reaction that we got when we did those 20 questions that no Christian can answer. But I feel like this is something that you can't really get offended by, because they're just like observations that people have made into, you know, what eventually that you're going to go into. Like, what exactly are they going to be responding to? Yeah.
Well, I liked how many people, and it looks like my audio might be coming in a little loud. I'll pull it down just a touch. But I too like how offended people seem to be, because basically they read the list and they're like, well, I feel those things, but I'm not about to be atheist. And maybe that's true, but it's not. You're gonna be atheist in like a week.
I also like, it was a great video.
Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, I liked how it was a compilation of 7 things, and people would go after the individual point as though we were saying, if you have just this, that means it's over for you. Whereas it was like these are 7 things that a lot of us who were believers, who became atheists, all kind of had in common, identify as a similar issue, or not issue, but a similar thing that happened to us beforehand. And the whole thread matters, but no one is saying, if you have those 7 things, you're absolutely... In fact, I remember while making it, thinking that Ocean would probably be a little annoyed by it, because I know a lot of the things hit for him.
It gets triggered very easy. But to me, it's... I mean, they're generalizations made, you know, that we see. It's what we think, you know, in terms of if you're a Christian and you're getting ready to come over to be an atheist, it just... That's the way that it is based on what we see. Now, to put an analogy with it, it's almost as reliable if you are going out and you're wearing a members only jacket. You will go home alone. Like, that is it's equally as reliable as that method. I mean, if you want to go home solo, wear a members only jacket.
It's not that there aren't exceptions, but it is still kind of the rule. I got you.
I have yet to see the exception to that, but it may exist. It may exist.
We'll take it as a challenge. Go out on the town and see who it takes the longest to get there. All right, here's what I'm going to do. Somebody just subscribed and then unsubscribed from Cirrus. Here's what I'll do. The man bun comes out, ladies and gentlemen, and smizmars. The man bun comes out, and I'll do the shampoo thing if we get Cirrus to 4,000 subscribers. I don't know. If you're offended by my man bun. What's that? Yeah, a lot of people hate the man bun. I don't know. It's something. And I'll show a nipple. I'm not really going to do that, but I'll pull out the man bun.
No, see, that's an award. Yeah. That's an award.
No one wants to see them. They're extremely hairy.
He'll show the nipple if you get him to 4.
They're hairy, and it's kind of puffy.
Good. That's good. That's how much you love Cirrus, that you're willing to... Okay, guys, you heard it. If you're on my channel and you're watching, please go and subscribe to Cirrus. We will get this nip slip before the show's over.
It just isn't. Fine.
You can't promise the people something and then take it away.
I will show a nipple if we get Cirrus 4,000 subscribers.
Boom.
This is a promise.
There you go.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah. Someone in the comments will figure out what I just did there.
Yeah, you said a nipple. You didn't say yours.
Shh. If you tell them now, they might not go.
But I'm pulling for the real thing.
Gunning for nips. All right. We should get jumped into some stuff.
Sure.
So I probably should have put this card up already. But yeah, do you want to go through some comments we got on? So for people who haven't seen it yet, over on my channel, and then NonSeq mirrored it. We did the 7 Signs You'll Be an Atheist Soon, and they were things like you love science, especially biology and physics. What was yours, Kyle?
That You are obsessed with debating atheists.
Yep, you actually listen to your opponent when they speak. We also had, there was more. You don't take your holy book literally. I should remember all 7, but I just don't. I just don't remember them all. Guys, man, nobody is doing this. We only need 11 of you to go subscribe. Come on, people. Take it back when he's got later. Maybe they're
already subscribed.
Yeah, I know that there's a lot of crossover on my channel, so that's not unlikely.
Did you get any very spicy comments? That's the ones that people love. Excellent.
I'll let me get pulled up here. Pulled up, maybe pulled out if we get to 20. If we get them to 4,000.
I still want to have a channel, so you can do that on your Pornhub.
Okay. No one can see behind that. Shh, I told you not to bring up the Pornhub.
Right.
I don't have a Pornhub channel.
Yes, he does. He really does. It was a good video, though. I really enjoyed being a part of it, and
the Pornhub video. I know.
Of course.
You clearly were enjoying being a part of it. The video is also just doing well.
Gnome does Dallas. Gnome does Dallas.
All right, I'm gonna have one that comes after you. I have to refute Kyle's argument. Sorry, Kyle. I still like you. Atheists do exactly the same, just from the other side. It does not mean you doubt. It means you care about the subject.
Wrong. While I appreciate the sentiment of and where he's coming from, it can't work both ways because the motivations, number one, are different from both parties. And I'm not so blind as to say that there aren't atheists out there that debate just to be a dick or to, there's other nefarious reasons. But two, you can't come back from where you have evidence. When you have evidence and proof for things, the argument doesn't work the other way. It only works from the people who are holding on to faith as a means of not having the ability to prove their viewpoint or their worldview. So when we engage to try to demonstrate that evidence or that fact, when they engage, it's to try to convince you that evidence that you have is not the evidence that you have, that you should suspend the belief in facts and evidence and instead jump onto something that is hopes and wishes. And so
right.
I disagree that it can go backwards that way.
We rely on debate on our side because it is a value. It is a huge value to our belief system as far as discovering what's true, whereas theists so often rely on debate to proselytize. And that's wildly different because we're coming in with sure, we might already have picked a side, but we don't have a standard for which, we don't have a standard that prevents us from switching to the other side if compelling enough evidence is presented. Whereas the other side does.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I was trying to find the guy who was just telling me that this is like atheist propaganda and started quoting the Quran, but I can't. It might have gotten deleted. I didn't delete it, but he might have deleted it.
That's lovely.
What about you? Did you get some good ones?
Yeah, actually, I got one that said that I was classy because of my vest, my hair, and my tie. So I pinned that one, of course.
Yeah. I got, Kyle, but Kyle has weird Sphinx opinions, and his co-host not only does not exist, but denies the existence of colors. By the way, as a person who works with color professionally for a living, colors are an illusion. They don't actually exist.
Well, that's debatable, but...
It's really not.
It really is. Ask Steve.
I think Steve's on my side on that one, but...
He is, but he gets debated on it all the time.
Yeah.
So it's definitely debatable.
Colors do not intrinsically exist.
Oh, okay. When you drive a car and you come to a light, how do you know if you to stop, go, or yield?
Because my brain has interpreted that frequency using a system that we interpret via color.
Yes. What are they What is your brain interpreting though?
Hey, when I make this sound, ooh, what color is it?
Orange. It feels like.
Yeah, except for that
Amber.
there are likely creatures
Amber is the
who
color of the
hear
energy.
in color. So when you
Cool.
say orange, first of all, we don't even know that our interpretations of color for a fact are all the same. We likely, in fact, all see color slightly different, which also takes out the
Oh.
intrinsic nature. But if you want to say they literally exist because we all identify the same frequency as red, then that's just incredibly subjective. They literally don't exist.
Yet we all managed to stop at stoplights.
How come nobody liked, I'm going to like it right now, nobody liked, Dana Campbell wrote, irrelevant but true, Mr. Atheist is ridiculously handsome. Thank you.
I'm just gonna let that hang,
Yeah.
especially after ridiculous color marks.
I just don't see color, Kyle.
Yeah.
It doesn't
Hear ya.
exist to me. I don't see color.
Okay, so let's get back to
Dive down the SJW
There's actually
rabbit hole.
people. That's okay.
Yeah.
Come back. But yeah, it was a good video. Very good video.
I love it. It was a lot of fun to do together, and I love all of those people that showed up in the video.
I love most of them.
Why do you just hate Cirrus? What's there to hate? He's so nice.
I think it's the hammer, maybe.
Let's get hammered with Cirrus's hammer.
Speaking of hate, though, let's go to a man who has some demon issues.
Do you want to jump there, or did you want to see the other airbag stuff we had ready?
Oh, we'll get to that. Let me go ahead and throw this out.
Okay, we
Really
will
quickly.
jump on. So this is Kyle's going to talk the most about it, but I want to take a moment before we get started and just say web design is incredibly tricky, and whether or not you are on the side I agree with or not, I can appreciate an artist when I see one, and a person who has a true eye and talent for web design. It's inspiring. I get jealous very quick, and so, ladies and gentlemen, I just got to show you this guy's website. Sorry, I thought I pushed it in, but I didn't. This is I don't know what technology he's using. All I know is I'm impressed. So
I do.
Boy,
AOL.
what a website! It's like,
AOL technology.
it's like, is it? You even think it's that? It's like he started to pirate Dreamweaver, and only 1/10 of it came through.
It's very MySpace days like.
Yeah.
You remember those days, the heydays when this is when porn would literally download like in sections at a time. You had to wait for the boob to pop up. You know, it was those days. This has not gotten out of that yet. He has doubled down on this, and something interesting happened today. I got a message from an individual that said, "You might want to check this article out." I said, "Okay, let's check it out." So, Jimmy, you could probably read it better than I can from here. But what's that headline say?
The struggle to stay human. I can pull up full screen if that would help. Oh, wrong one. Hang on.
Yeah.
Bada boom.
There we go. So basically, what he is talking about in this article is how people are turning to the devil, and the devil is making people choose sex and that whole narrative, right? So I'm scrolling, I'm reading, and this is the usual crazy that you get with off the deep end religious people, and so it wasn't hitting me. Like I was like, well, this is average, you know. Where's the meat to this? So if you want to scroll down a little bit more,
Yeah.
Jimmy.
Oh, come on. It doesn't let me use it. I gotta manually hit the bar like a Neanderthal.
So,
Stop there, right? Did you want me to keep going anymore?
This is good. So we're getting all of these images of I guess what he considers stereotypical evil satanic people.
Yeah, which it's funny
you got
because they go with the guy dressed up like some kind of demon, like fabulous demon, and then it's Peter Struck right under him.
Yeah. And so, you know, they usually save the most you want your shock value at the end, right? So I'm scrolling down, and I get to the
I don't
point
know if I'm
where I
ready.
just stop in my tracks.
We're gonna get demonetized, but let's go ahead and move to this next image.
Let's look at the demon that he's got. Oh, I just stopped. The guy, I have no clue who this guy is. Took my picture and put it under an article titled "Struggle to Remain Human." What is this? And obviously he does something with InfoWars. Look at over there on the left-hand side. So now I am introduced into this whole crazy whatever it is. But I don't like it. I don't like being on it, and I don't feel comfortable with it.
It looks like it was just a share. I don't know really what's going on. Oh, and by the way, Kyle, real quick, your new background, was that the background you were looking for?
I can't see it because you've got your full screen.
Oh, you're right. You're right. Let me pull that back down. Was that the right one?
Yes, actually. That's perfect.
Okay, good. Good. You knows I wants to please.
I like that. So, while I am Mr. Whoever you are that wrote this article, while I am slightly flattered that I looked evil enough to make it into your you're trying to remain human. Go fuck yourself, you batshit crazy Christian.
But isn't that exactly what a demon would say?
Yes, it is actually. You're right. Maybe I am a demon. I mean, would I know if I was? If I was?
He's got a demon inside him.
I've got to go.
Let me try and fix this browser thing so we can get back into it correctly. For some reason the playlist wasn't in order anymore. All right, so we started off the show with this guy. Let me, and here's the thing I want to bring up for a moment. You can't, you know the phrase "fool me once, shame on you; fool me twice, shame on me."
Mm-hmm.
He's back.
You know what though? I mean, the Titanic with the recorder, it just makes it. I mean, that's just brilliant. Fantastic.
That's so good.
The thing is with normally I would agree with you that if they get you once with a prank and it happens again, then obviously you're in on it. However, this is at a mechanic shop, it looks like, and there are probably those seats that are just laid out all the time. They don't think twice about just sitting down in a seat. So I think that would be the most or the easiest place to get somebody like this.
Yeah, that's a good point. I appreciate your candor. But yeah, if you got somebody with the same prank multiple times, at some point, he said changing his background again. At some, I should just start. I'm just gonna start it over. Look at the bow. Ooh.
God. Dang.
Also, thank you very much to Francesca King, who sent in a super chat for $2, saying, "Kyle and Mr. Atheist bring color to my world." You're welcome.
See?
We do. Because it has to be brought, because it's subjective. But it isn't real.
How do you even have people that watch your channel? I don't get it.
I don't know. A lot of self-hatred, I think. And plus, I put Jordan Peterson in the title sometimes, and those videos just always do good.
Has to be.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was good.
I love these.
There's actually.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that there are more. Where that came from?
There are more. But there's not. I'll do the recorder sound.
Did you see that guy hit the ceiling fan?
Oh my! Did he hit the fan?
Yeah, that guy. He hit the. Fuck! Look at that.
Oh my God! He went so high.
Oh, what the fuck?
Whoa! What the fuck? Oh, what the fuck? He looks like he's been violated. That made it up inside me. Turn down the volume a little here. Oh my goodness. Yep.
Oh, there's our man. The OG.
You know, I think I just remembered years ago they were like worried about this. Like the story time here, but let me first in good faith, let's fix this real quick. The guy, so a couple weeks ago I thought to myself, I wonder if I can do a head.
God.
that one was a little anticlimactic.
Oh!
Right in the face.
Shit. Whoa.
That's good. Some of these are like definitely smaller airbags, but that first one where the guy hit the fan, that must have been from like a truck or something.
But who edited this video? Like, because they replay and do it in slow-mo on the ones that are the
best.
The tiny ones. The
Oh, dude. Whoa. Oh my goodness. That's like what you were talking about, like how dangerous, because you don't know where it's going to launch him.
Right. I can't lie, though. This is kind of fun.
It is, yeah. It's like, I want to tell you people not to do this, but I'm glad someone did. Oh, no. Oh, I thought he was going to go down to blow it and it was going to punch him in the face with a cake. That actually would have been better. I thought it was going to be...
That would have been funny.
But yeah, and just, that would have been really good. All right, we have...
That knocked that guy out.
Go ahead.
I was just saying that it knocked that last guy completely out.
Did he go cold? Let's see. Yeah, he's... Well, I'm done. We have Suris two away from 4,000 subscribers. And I want a screenshot when he hits right at the 4,000. So, Suris the Skeptic, S-U-R-I-S, 2 people. Come on. Does it really matter? You'll like his content, most likely. He's an atheist. He's a skeptic. It's good stuff. Go and subscribe.
And you'll get a nipple, for sure. By the way, in the live chat, JMD says that his video will be up tonight on the 7 signs you're becoming atheist.
I will get around to it eventually.
I said maybe he should come talk about it. That might be interesting.
On NonSeq?
See what he says. No, yeah. Here.
Oh, ad homies? I mean, I'd have to figure out a way to switch the window. Plus, I do need to be gone pretty much right at 6. I maybe got a few minutes after.
Well, you dodged a bullet.
But I'm open to having the conversation with him. Yeah, it just can't be right this second.
Sure.
Okay, what happened with the... Yeah, move. We did that one. Go next. Come on, you fools.
I think we got them.
I think we got them all. It's not letting me click the next button, which is frustrating. Let's do this. Let's go. Boom. I should have it up here.
Technology. Sure. So yeah, I think where we're going next is SJ's video, I believe.
No. We have a political ad to play.
Oh yeah, that's right. Okay,
yeah.
Yes, that's correct. So it's almost political season, and Jimmy found this little jewel last night, and it's hilarious.
Yeah, this is the greatest thing I've ever seen. And so if you're in Arizona and you're in the whatever district this is the ad to consider. This is just wonderful.
Paul Gosar, the congressman,
I'm going to speed it up a little.
Isn't doing anything to help rural America.
Paul's absolutely not working for his district.
If they care about health care, they care about their children's health care. They would hold him to account. If they care about jobs, they would hold him to account.
If he actually cared about people in rural Arizona, I bet he'd be fighting for Social Security, for better access to health care. I bet he would be researching what is the most insightful water policy to help the environment of Arizona sustain itself and be successful.
Yeah, these people do not like, Paul Gosar is a Republican running there. They just don't like him.
Listening to you, and he doesn't have your interests at heart. My name is Tim Gosar. David Gosar.
I'm going to come back to single speed and just let him do this.
Watch the beauty of this, ladies and gentlemen.
This is amazing.
Your interests at heart. My name is Tim Gosar.
David Gosar.
Grace Gosar.
Joan Gosar.
Gaston Gosar.
Jennifer Gosar.
Paul Gosar is my brother.
My brother. And I endorse Dr. Brill.
Dr. Brill.
Wholeheartedly endorse Dr. David Brill for Congress.
I'm Dr. David Brill, and I approve this message.
God, that man's a genius.
First thing, as a side note, I actually have a cousin named David Brill, but he's not even in America, so that's fun. But can you fucking imagine you run for office? And by the way, I have 6 biological siblings. I have 6 more non-biological siblings. I have 6 biological siblings, of which I was the first one to leave the church, the Mormon church. And I could totally see myself 5 years ago, before the next one would come out, like running for office, except I would have been 23, so maybe not. But if I had run for office, I kind of think my biggest opponents would have. So I kind of feel for the guy. Now, he's a Republican, so it makes it a little funnier for me. But to have all of your brothers come out for your opponent, Jesus Christ.
I don't feel bad for the guy because obviously he's a dick. If you get
That's true.
6, if you get 6 of your siblings, not only to not endorse you for your candidacy, but to go on an ad that's going to be on TV for the person that's running against you, you have done fucked up big time.
Yeah, that's so sad to me. But I mean, like, on the one hand, I feel bad, but on the other hand, this should be a shining example to the Trump kids. You don't have to defend him just because he's your father, even though you were raised with mob rules about loyalty and never snitches get stitches and all that kind of shit. You never turn your back on the family. Even though that's obviously the way you were raised, you can make an ad and count. That was one of the things reading Bob Woodward's book. It's like, I think his family doesn't agree with him on a lot. Don Jr., I think, agrees with him on anything because Don Jr.'s gross.
Yes.
But the
Don
rest,
Jr.
Yeah. But the rest, I think, actually might have some sense of this might be bullshit. Eric's also just stupid. I'm really just talking about Ivanka and Jared. I'm pretty sure I don't think they'll vote for him next time.
I don't think that they do either. However, that is a situation where I don't know many people that would. I mean, of course, they're going to be, but no one would ever want to be in a position where they're speaking against their father. I mean, that's just
it's tough,
especially when you're having a sexual relationship with your father, like Ivanka. The last thing
like
you
Donald
want to do is to,
or like Don Jr.
Yeah,
yeah,
maybe.
Maybe. Come on. He was definitely one of the ones peeing on the bed.
Could be. But
Daddy,
you don't want to go against your father.
The bed again.
Oh, gross.
Did I make this weird? Did I make this real weird? I'm sorry. I'm going to cancel my channel now. 3,999. We need one more person to go to SURIS, Suris the Skeptic.
Actually, you need 2 more.
You son of a bitch. Wouldn't it be amazing if actually we could somehow get to all of his subscribers and just get him down to 0?
That'd be the single greatest and biggest dick move on the planet.
Absolutely it would be. And he just messaged me. He's about to apparently start actually watching the show. So fuck you, dude.
Oh yeah. If you went and subscribed to Sirius, unsubscribe now.
He's not even watching. No, I still need to be the driving force. It'll help my ego. So go subscribe. Get that. Give him that one more subscriber so I can hit him at 4. So I can take the screenshot at 4,000. Should we move on to the 11 questions that we have no chance of answering because we're atheists?
Are you sure you want to do this on air? I mean, to embarrass us like this?
It might be
asking questions.
Yeah, I get it. Oh, there's Cyrus in the live chat. Oh, hi. Oh, God damn it. I'm sorry. I missed. Thank you to everybody who hadn't subscribed, but I missed it at 4,000, and now it's at 4,001.
Oh, man, that's beautiful.
That's pretty funny. Oh, come on.
That's beautiful.
Oh, somebody unsubscribed just to get it down to an even 4,000. Thank you. now you can put your sub back. There it goes.
I feel like you have an unhealthy obsession with watching Cyrus's live count feed. Do you need to talk about something, Jimmy? I mean,
I
we're
watch
here
all
for
of.
you.
I literally watch all of your live count feeds, just so you know. Like I have the app,
bizarre.
and I'll just let it randomly pick one, and just for a day. Puffalopagus 360 donated $2 and asked, "Who is Stephen Miller fucking?" Yeah, also Trump.
Nobody.
I think Stephen Miller is probably the guy who like procures actual humans for the Trump family to hunt.
Like Hostel.
Yeah. Yeah. Francesca King asked, Mr. Atheist, have you read Omarosa's book yet? I haven't. I haven't even decided if I will. It's kind of one of those things of like, I don't know that somebody with whom, it seems like a lot of the things she said have actually been backed up by like recordings and stuff, but she's not a person I considered to have credibility before she was on our side. And now that she's on our side, I don't know that that means I'm going to embrace her and be like, hey, look, this person that I thought was just clearly doing whatever got her the most public attention is doing it again. So I haven't decided yet. But if you've read it, go join my Discord or something and let me know if you've read it. If
Tesla Ranger, the sign behind me says psychic reader, and it's a little joke that Jimmy is being cute about, in which he will pay for in the video that's coming out with a bunch of your favorite content creators, including Logic, Aaron Ra, Jeff Holiday. Jimmy will definitely be in there. Make sure that you catch Jimmy's spot in it, because it's going to be epic.
Oh shoot, I can't move just the bummer. All right, whatever.
I can move out of the way. There you go.
I'll do this.
There you go, Donnie.
Pull you over here and then move the whole thing over.
Better not be peeing on me. So, let us now jump into SJ's impossible 11 questions.
I think we're screwed. I think we're screwed here. I was actually in the middle of grabbing a new one for you. Let's do this one, and then that'll be ours for the day. Okay, good.
I'm actually okay with that.
Yeah, that's not bad. Nice little nice little neck beard going on back there.
It's I mean, he works it.
To each their own. All right, ladies and gentlemen, prepare to lose brain cells.
Hello, you've reached ChristianApologist.com, and I'm S.J. Thomason, and today I'm going to present to you 11 questions that atheists cannot answer. The first
don't go to that website. That was all I was going to say.
question. How do you explain why the early Christian martyrs preached for decades saying they saw the risen Christ?
Okay, hold on. Let's before we answer, Jimmy.
Yeah.
How do you explain for decades?
Which Jimmy?
No.
Sorry. I
Siri,
couldn't hear what you said.
don't start. How do you explain that for decades the early Christian
martyrs?
Here's what I found on the web for how do you explain that for decades the early Christian.
Hey Siri, how do you explain that for decades the early Christian martyrs testified to seeing the risen Christ? Oh, the first one is from something called CBN, the Christian Broadcasting Network.
Something called CBN. Yeah, that's what's his face, Pat Robertson.
Well, this was written by Paul Strand. The eyewitness testimony that'll make you never doubt the resurrection again. First of all, nobody who actually saw the risen Christ actually wrote about it, except for none of them. Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John are all. So I don't know what they're on about. Like the New Testament picks up 100 years-ish after Christ is gone. S.O. Lightkin wrote, "Ask Kyle about the concave bed theory whenever." We'll get to that.
Yeah.
So I don't know what they're on about. Like anything that's in the Bible, I don't take seriously. And then those secondary accounts of Josephus, there's plenty of wrong with too. So as far as how do I account for there being multiple versions of the same story, I'd say it's a bunch of people who heard the same story and then put their own spin on it, as is then sort of played out by all of the contradictions between the stories.
And let's not forget the option that they could be lying to serve their own interest. It is not out of the question that you had a group of people that were writing these texts decide that this needed to be in there in order to complete the story, to fulfill the prophecies, or to inspire people to believe that Jesus arose. So it's not out of the question that we as humans are going to lie to benefit ourselves or to benefit the greater thing that we're trying to push. So they could definitely attest to that, but that doesn't mean it happened.
Right. There's also eyewitness testimony is the most unreliable. I'm trying to remember where it was. It might have been in the Philippines. It might have been somewhere else. But there's an island nation somewhere that pretty well the entire island claims to have seen, and this was a few centuries ago, the moon break and slam into the earth or something along those. It was some crazy celestial event like the moon broke in half. I think I might be mixing it up with Islam, but the moon I think fell out of the sky.
It was a winged horse cleaved it in half.
Well, that was a different one. So I wasn't talking about the Islam story, but you had all of these eyewitnesses who said that. There's the possibility of lying, it being mistaken. Just think about all the people who are clearly lying about seeing Bigfoot.
Yeah,
and that's for centuries.
Right, but look in the legal system. I mean, how many times have you seen stories of people on death row that get exonerated? The thing that put them there was the eyewitness testimony. The thing that actually got them out was scientific evidence in DNA, right. And it goes to parallel here. They have an eyewitness testimony. It's probably full of shit. Science will eventually blow it out of the water.
Unfortunately, SJ, I was able to answer your first question.
We're done here. Awesome.
Let's give her the other 10.
2.
You know what I do appreciate about SJ? This whole video is 1 minute and 26 seconds. She does all 11 in a row, doesn't over. I actually appreciate that about her.
She's a very nice person, too.
Not like my shitty 7 points video that was 11 minutes.
How do you explain the rise of Christianity to between 5 and 6 million by 313 when it was finally legalized from such humble roots?
Legalized? Yeah. Legalized?
Very simply.
What an interesting word to use for it. Also, how do you...
When you have...
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was just saying, how do you explain the rise of Islam? Sorry, fuck. How do you... That's it.
That's okay.
How do you explain the rise of Islam? Same thing. Sensational stories get regional traction, and then they grow and they grow and they grow. And the ability to control and ask people to give up their will and their worldviews to simpler answers that put them at the tip top, which you would have a world mostly run by, not mostly, entirely run by men, and religion is really great at empowering penises. It's not that hard. It's not, but also legalized. What a liberal use of that word.
And let's go to the extreme here, like the last example. When you have the armies and you have the swords and you have the men and you're invading your neighboring countries and you're demanding that they convert or be killed or burned alive at the stake, that is a pretty good way to convince somebody. When you have a sword to their neck and you are saying confess that Christ is the Lord or die, you're going to start confessing that Christ is the Lord.
And by the way, SJ, there isn't a version, there also isn't a Virgin Mother, but there isn't a version of Christianity that existed in that time period. You said 313 AD was the one you were going on, that you would remotely recognize. The difference between Christianity back then and now is so different that you could even call them separate, let's say, species because of the way they've evolved. You would not recognize, and not only would you not recognize, you wouldn't be asked to recognize that version of Christianity because as a woman, you would have been eliminated from having a say or beliefs from yourself, and you would still be treated like property as established by the old laws.
Eat it. Right. So either get on that atheist bandwagon or get back in the kitchen and iron, right? Is that what you're saying, Jimmy?
Yes. Wellington Smith says, Jimmy, are you saying that the Jesus story was the best myth at the time? Is that why it survived? I don't know if I'd say it was the best, but it was the ones that the people in power. I think I know what you mean by best, as in most attractive, I guess, at that time.
Yeah, I think that's
It doesn't have to be the most attractive. It just has to be the most popular amongst the people with the power. So there may have actually been more attractive, but could be. I mean, Wellington, I think you're onto something.
Yeah, and to kind of piggyback on that, I don't feel one way or the other. Let me just preface this by saying this. I don't, my opinion doesn't come down one way or the other on whether Jesus was a real person or he wasn't. I haven't looked into it enough it's not really just something that I get into, but suppose that there was a Jesus that was just like a street preacher or somebody that went around professing these things, and they did crucify him. Suppose that actually did happen, right? Now, I'm not saying that he rose from the dead, but let's say that he was crucified, put in a tomb, and they decided to make that story that he did arise and ascend up into heaven. That's not out of the question either. I mean, it's a possibility, but it doesn't make him the Son of God.
Maybe not a plausibility, but a possibility, sure. Yeah, sure, Christopher Hitchens famously said, "I'll give you all the miracles, but what was it? I'll give you all the miracles." So he was willing to give him everything: virgin birth, raises from the dead. But his point was that doesn't mean he was who he said he was, and it doesn't prove that his origin was divine. That didn't sound anything like Christopher Hitchens. I know. I'll work on him one day. Yeah, it actually, as much as people want to think that that's the case, it's not the case. All right, we'll just keep going.
3. What powered inflation of the universe? 4.
What powered the inflation of the universe? Gravity, energy.
The Big Bang.
Yeah, we know dark matter takes a part of it all, but everything seems to be originated. If that's like a silly question though, because it's not as though, I think she's trying to tie that in because it's much more complicated than her other questions. It is a question for physicists. Just because I don't necessarily know the full mechanics myself, because I'm more from the bio world than I am from the physics world, I don't know the full comprehensive answer, but I know no physicist is going to say it was God. They're going to say that there is a reason for it.
Right. My question in response to that would be what her answer would be into that. How would she answer that question?
I'm trying to think of something witty, but I couldn't. It's too late now. All right. We'll keep going.
Why are humans spiritual?
That one's a super easy one for me. Do you want to take it?
Absolutely. Sure. Because I think we have an inert sense of wanting to have answers to all the questions that we have, and when we don't get those answers, we like to think that we pull them out of places. Right. It's a thing, and I think it lends credence to evolution, because maybe one of the reasons why we survived as long as we did was that kind of reverence to something more, and that put us in a particular biologically ahead of the rest, because we were able to kind of differentiate that. But it's just an inert curiosity. We're curious beings. We want to know things.
I think that answers the question if you interpret it spiritual to mean religious, but she used this broad term spiritual. And so as far as what you want to define that as, but whatever it is, let's go with spiritual as in meaning possessing a spirit. I don't know that that actually is the case. In fact, I don't think that humans possess a spirit or a ghost or whatever. But prove me wrong. But why are they spiritual? In that they get a sense of wonder and awe. There's lots of evolutionary reasons for that. The ability to interpret beauty and have all of that sensory input and feel a release of dopamine and serotonin when things are harmoniously together. Whatever first you need to define spiritual. So the only reason why a person can't answer that is because they have no idea what the fuck you're talking about. But thanks, SJ.
5. Where did consciousness come from?
Evolution.
Easy.
Yeah, that's
the simulation.
The simulation. It was plugged in. No, but evolution. It's a biological function. I can't tell you the moment it happened, and I can't tell you yet by what mechanism it arose. Also, I can't even tell you for a fact that consciousness in the way you think it exists, that you have this independent stream of thought that is the way people identify consciousness is almost like that's where their personality is and that's separated from the rest of their body. I happen to be one of the people that thinks that consciousness we're really just mistaking an illusion of multiple sensory input, and the fact that we can process basically a lot of stuff at a time, a lot of senses. To me, that's just what consciousness is. But that is one that I don't say I definitively know. That's where my suspicion is, because that seems to be the only thing that is evidently true.
And what about the species of our cousins, like the Neanderthals and those? Where did did they have consciousness? Because if she's going to go with the let's say that she goes with the Adam and Eve. I don't know this for certain that this is what she believes, but obviously there were a group of human, or what we consider Homo sapien like species. Did they have that same access to a consciousness? And if they didn't, then there's a lot of explaining to do on that end, I think, because
right,
they're pretty much like us on that end.
To me, consciousness is just a trait of being in the animal kingdom, or at least for the most part. It seems that almost all animals, just like almost all plants, synthesize. I used to have a lisp. I usually avoid words like that. It's a matter of it's just a trait of biology. It's not. I don't think that our consciousness exists outside of our body, and I see no reason. And by the way, I've undergone many surgeries. I've been unconscious for about a week at one point, and I felt no perception of time change. That nothing about my consciousness existed outside of those. I don't see any reason to believe the consciousness is anywhere but in my body, and that when I die, I will lose it.
Agreed. There's a really cool thing that I saw recently about a doctor who was, when he does surgeries and when he has patients that come in that have NDEs, he puts a picture, I think it's of a baseball player, up on the top shelf, or he did when he did surgeries, for that very reason. So when people would come back and say they had a near-death experience and they were floating above the thing, he would ask them which baseball player is up on the top shelf. I think that's hilarious.
But when you're a skeptic, the other thing is, like, let's say somebody came back and guessed right, and they were like, it's Girardi. Your brain then goes to, okay, did he actually have an out-of-body experience, or does somebody know that this doctor does that and told this person in advance? Is there any reason naturally? Yeah, that's how a skeptic's mind works.
It should work anyway.
Right. It doesn't necessarily mean you accuse everybody of being a liar, but you should assume that reality can be perceived differently from different people.
I'm glad you said that. But I wanted to make this point too. When skeptics take positions in doubt, not denial.
Right.
That's the distinction that people need to understand. It's about the doubting, not denying everything outright without hearing it out first.
Right.
People make that.
I kind of mentioned this in that clip, that compilation you're coming up with, but it has nothing to do with being a skeptic is not the same as being a contrarian asshole.
Correct.
Yeah.
Or cynical.
6. How do you
I'm cynical, but that's separate from my skepticism.
explain what some have called our sixth sense?
Cynical.
7. How did...
Okay. That is not a sixth sense. What you're experiencing is, what's the best way to word this? I'm drawing a blank on being nice with it, but go ahead.
I'll let you think while you're doing. For me, it's just a matter of, I would be much more interested if this was something that emerged from societies that don't have that pre-existing supposition that dead people are still around. So as far as, I assume she means sixth senses in like the ability to sense that people are dead. By the way, we already have more than 5 senses, so it would be more like our 12th or 13th sense. But that's neither here nor there. But the concept of, it's a matter of people who believe in Jesus see Jesus on toast. People who believe in whatever, that it is subjective to their experience, and it's actually almost to the point of being boring that people who believe in ghosts sense ghosts, if that makes sense.
It does. And where I was trying to go with mine was it's like people who believe in alien abductions or believe in Bigfoot or believe that they see UFOs. Those are always the people that see numerous UFO after, Bigfoot sighting after Bigfoot sighting. You never see somebody that does not believe in Bigfoot that sees Bigfoot.
Right.
It just does. I mean, they just don't go hand in hand like that.
Right. Bigfoot itself, I might be mistaken on the area, but it's somewhere over there. I think it originates over in the Himalayas centuries ago. And yet you got people in Virginia going out into the woods behind their house claiming to have seen Bigfoot. So first of all, we're fucked because Bigfoot has an airplane. Ladies and gentlemen, take your cyanide pills now because we're super fucked.
And you've got mayors in the state that I live in declaring the city animal as Bigfoot.
Oh yeah, that's right. That was absurd.
That's a thing.
Yeah, that's hilarious. All right, let's get our next one because it's already 6:05, so we got to get this into Iowan stuff in.
Did the Earth overcome what MIT and Stanford physicists call statistically miraculous odds to have habitable conditions?
No.
8. Why does humanity cherish...
Shit, hang on. This one's also super easy for me, so I'll give mine quick. Do you got one you want to put in first?
I was just going to say that it's looking more and more like that. That's not the case with all the exoplanets that we're finding. There are, countless orbiting a star that are in the habitable zone, and we don't know if we are the only one out there. And if we are, then yes, we are the only place that life exists because we're the only place that life exists. It just works out that way.
That'd be incredible, yeah. But for me, I'll give it to you. Let's say it's true, and that's the statistical and the realm. I'm pretty sure it's somewhere between. I'm pretty sure the number that theists like to point to, it's something like 1 with a million zeros after it, 1 in a million digit long thing. Here's the thing: we could design a computer that in a day randomly puts a million numbers in a row, and then if you compile them all and you identified that as one number, you would have one number that, because it used a random input generator, the likelihood of that number being there would be 1 over 1 with a million zeros. But the number's still there. Just because it's so statistically unlikely, it was never statistically unlikely that nothing would happen. Literally everything is statistically unlikely. Like, people like to look up and go, oh my God, this red moon that's coming is also happening at the same time as this, and this only happens once in every 50,000 years. Meanwhile, celestial events happen every day that will never happen again. That's how rare they are. So the fact that it's rare tells you nothing except for that the potential things the universe could do was vast. And it's very lucky for us that we were one of those products. But we don't need to believe anything that it was anything but luck, because some outcome was going to happen, all as unlikely as each other, but we were the one that did.
And her improbable odds are looking slimmer and slimmer every day with
all the
every
time, yeah.
exoplanet that's found.
The moment we find life in a solar system not far from us, if that happens, then you can immediately assume. Now, 2 is hardly a pattern, but once you get to 2, you improve the ways to find the third. So if we find 2 and then 3 planets that we can say certainly have life within not if that happens within not a very big area, like within, say, a 50 light year radius, then you can just assume the entire universe is saturated with life, and that actually the arousal of life is extremely easy to come about.
Let me ask you this question, because I think that it's in our own backyard. There are 3 places where it could be. Number 1, I think Mars. Number 2, Titan, and number 3, Europa. Because Europa is an entire planet that has geology, that has tectonic plates that are moving, and it has a planet surrounded in water underneath that blanket of ice. I also think that they're going to find something in Mars. But when you find that life, that biological entity that's on another planet, don't you think that cancels out the Bible as a whole, because it speaks to nothing of that? I mean, does God just say this world?
Uh-oh.
Is Jesus just talking about this world?
I'm turning into my old Mormon self. Hang on. Mormons actually believe that there are humans made in the image of God on planets all through the universe, and that we're the planet Jesus was sacrificed on for all of them everywhere.
They think of everything. Religion
do.
literally takes that they see in the future, and they write. This is why it's genius. They write the endings before it hits them in the face.
It is kind of so. What was funny is Joseph Smith was actually asked about the moon, and he said there was a colony of these 12-foot, it might have been 9, but really tall people dressed like Quakers that lived on the moon. That was one of the things he said was a fact, and they still believe his bullshit. Also,
12-foot tall oatmeal men.
Exactly. Andreu Botella, I'm really sorry if I said it wrong. Andreu Botella. Super chatted $2 and said, "I bet Europa have animals with 3 fists." Yes, that's if
Most
you were,
definitely.
if they, because I don't know if Andreu, I don't know if that's a male, female, or something else. But whatever. If you were, I'll just say you instead of a pronoun. If you were at the beginning of the show for the pre-show, that is a hilarious super chat.
Tie back. Yeah. Really cool side note too. The way that they're planning on finding that is launching a submarine, which does shoot torpedoes into the underground ocean on Europa. That's their right now is their target.
That's
pretty
awesome.
Badass.
Now, to tell you the truth, I have a lot of doubts we'll find any in the solar system. I'd love to find signs of life on Mars that it once existed, but Mars doesn't seem to be presently habitable. But
not now. But it was at one time. It had a thicker atmosphere, and that ice cap that's on the top, they haven't been able to even scratch the surface of that. So they think that there still might be some sort of water in that.
They know there's water.
Ice cap.
So what'll be interesting is if you find that, as far as timing goes, while it was possible on our planet, Mars would have been a much more convenient planet 4.5 billion years ago for life to have arose on when it did on ours.
Absolutely.
So that's what the theory of panspermia is about. It's like it could have happened here, but actually, as far as natural occurrences go, Mars would have been way more convenient. And so panspermia is super, super interesting. It's not something I believe in, but it's 100%. This was something that guy you guys had me debate, Jay Dwyer, makes fun of, that Dawkins even, he says believes in that we're all Martians, which he doesn't. This is the point. It's a possibility, and it's 100% by natural causes. So the guy who believes that people are putting symbols in movies to turn you all gay and evil, and doesn't believe in the moon landing and stuff, thinks that a natural occurrence is just absurd compared to his beliefs.
It's got merit, I think. I think it's completely plausible that happened.
Yeah, not just... Yeah, earlier we talked about possibilities versus plausibilities. This is plausible. Indeed. All right, let's do the next
Why
one.
does humanity cherish humility and honesty over pride and deceit?
They don't.
They don't.
On an individual level, as far as when you are trying to get somebody to be your life partner or something, a lot of people look for those things. However, a lot of people actually issue those things through the deceit, and make you think they have those things. But Donald Trump is president, so that argument is already gone.
Right, and once again, people lie. You may think that humanity our society values those two things because they do it to your face. It's some kind of that's where you get the term two-faced from, because they're one way in front of you, and then what they really think about you when you're not around. And anybody can give an example of that.
Yeah.
So it's a show. That's all it is. It's a. Yeah.
This isn't even just my cynicism. It's just a fact that, especially when we look for leaders, look at what we just did. We went after a charismatic Cheeto who can't tell the truth. He doesn't know how.
Charismatic. Oh,
Cheeto.
Man.
Oh, in a way he is. He's not
hydrogenated is what you meant.
Yeah, he's not articulate, but he's certainly charismatic.
That's the
9. Why do almost all feel compelled to do what's right by helping neighbors?
They don't.
They don't.
Also, yeah. Are you shitting me? They don't. Almost all. I'll give you 20% tops. Do you want to address it more? I feel like we just did. Go ahead.
I'm just going to say that people have, like a handful of people that they would do anything in the world for. Outside of that, handful of people, they're not going to. It's just, sure, there are exceptions to that rule. There are people that, would go out of their way. But for the most part, people are selfish.
But there's no doubt people do nice things for each other all the time. But even that has a source of selfishness, because we do have a sense of, I want to be treated this way, so I will do my best to treat people. But have you ever noticed no one ever really treats somebody? Not no one. There are people who are exceptions that seem to just be crazy, great people, and I don't know if there's anything behind it. But there is also this, like, no one is ever as, the whole be unto others as you would be treated that they think Jesus invented because they're morons. There's no one who's really ever treating somebody else as good as they want to be treated. Good, but we always want to be treated a little better than we treat out.
Unless you're into BDSM or dom, you're a findom. Exceptions.
Always.
Why is there a norm of reciprocity? 10. What is our greater purpose?
We don't have one. Well, or there's no intrinsic one. It's whatever you make it.
Right. That's what I was going to say. You set your own value and what your life's purpose is. And the thing I would stress is that, of course I believe this, but you only get one of these. And do you want to spend it adhering to the way that some ancient book tells you to be, or do you want to set your own path and really be proud and have no regrets when that day comes? That's up to you.
This also brings up the idea of, like, when she talks about, like, humility, but then some of the other stuff like nobility. What is more noble? Being a good person because you've realized that's what you want to do, or being a good person because you want that heavenly reward or you're afraid of hell? I'll take the person who makes the decision themselves.
Absolutely. There's a good point that I like to bring up when we have Christian guests on the show, and that is, if you took the hell card off the table, if hell wasn't an option, like if you just, when this world's over, you die, the people that wanted to serve God, maybe they go up and they worship a God for all of eternity, you would have a hemorrhage of people fleeing religion. The only reason they stay is because of that threat of eternal punishment. So and that whole afterlife thing, to me, is just, I don't get it. I mean, it's so false. You don't really love God like that. I mean, you don't.
And especially with Mormonism, there's so much of, like, fear of hell. I still get it with people who are atheists now who go, I still just can't seem to drop that worry of what if I die and I was wrong. And it's like, if I do all of the mental work, I know I'm not wrong. Like, I know Joseph Smith was clearly a con man. All the proof is there, but I still grew up feeling like I knew I would go to hell, and that takes a while to drop away. Just like the tendency to pray takes a while to drop away, because in a way it is I won't call it a healthy exercise, but it's an addictive exercise. And so I for a while substituted prayer and basically did the same. I didn't do like the please bless so-and-so, please bless so-and-so, but I would think to myself those things that I wanted, and I'd sort of be asking the universe, knowing that I wasn't asking thinking anything was listening, but just performing the exact same exercise. And then it kind of just dropped off over time. Sure.
And you got the same response as an atheist praying as you did when you were a Mormon praying.
And that was the beauty of it. I think it was Stephen Fry who said that when I would pray, about half the time I would get the things I want and half the times I wouldn't. When I stopped praying, about half the times I'd get the stuff I want and about half the times I wouldn't. It doesn't change.
There's a funny thing that, and this is probably one of the only times that I will mention this person on any of the shows that I do, but one classic thing about G-Man that I always would hear him say, and it would just, my mind would literally, like, my brain would melt out of my ears. And he would use the answered prayer argument as a way to prove God's existence. And when people would ask him about this, he would say, you know what? When you ask God for something, you can keep a journal. You can write down the date that you asked for something, and you can write down exactly what you asked for. and every single time God was going to give you one of three answers: yes, no, or not right now. And the fact that he could not see how unbelievably stupid and ignorant that is just blew my mind. I mean, it's insane.
Because you could assign that to anything, and your life won't change at all. And to tell you the
I could
truth,
ask
my
the
life
milk jug.
that's the other thing. My life got way better when I dropped the God bullshit. So if anything, I've had the opposite experience. And I understand that that's an anecdote. Meanwhile, they're only asking you for anecdotes to go, hey, do this, and then look for the way it worked out, and then use that as confirmation. Right. Meanwhile,
Absolutely.
so their anecdotal methodology actually disqualified my experience.
Absolutely. And how many times have prayers helped these school shootings, helped these weather disasters that we have? Because that's the one thing that you see every time that happens. Thoughts and prayers for Texas.
You know what the religious response,
Orlando.
though, is? We have no idea how often they helped, but we know that it would be much worse without it.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah. What does much worse look like to you freaks? All right, let's do the last one.
And 11, why is there evil in the world?
Because people suck.
Amen.
Evil is subjective, but I agree that we've all come to conclusions that are apt on what we call evil. And it's because we don't all have the same level of understanding, and because humans are largely selfish, and sometimes those selfish drives make us do things that... Because something is only truly evil if it harms other people. So I don't buy this religious evil that all the masturbating I did at 14, which was a ton, was evil, because that didn't hurt anybody else.
If you ask me why there is evil... to take an answer in a page from Christopher Hitchens, who I think summed it up beautifully, religion. Yeah. That's one of the reasons why you have evil. That sets the tone for what evil is, and they follow through with it. Every single century, there is not only scams, the atrocities that they would commit on other people. You could name a century, and I will name you an atrocity that they're committing right now. Not only with the child abuse cases, but what they're doing in Africa with contraceptives and saying that you shouldn't do contraceptives because that's against God's word. That's killing millions. That's an atrocity. That's evil. Yet it's condoned by the infallible one, the God's vicar of Christ here on earth.
Trying to find this quote.
That's evil.
I fucking love, but I always get the wording just slightly wrong.
I know what you're talking about.
So I wanted to make sure.
What does it take to get a... I can't remember the guy's name, though. It's on the tip of my tongue.
It's Steven Weinberg. So Steven Weinberg said, without religion, we'd have good people doing good things and evil people doing evil things. But for good people to do evil things, that takes religion. So as far as why evil's in the world, totally natural reasons, because people are selfish and because we've subjectively come up with what we think is evil as a collective, and I agree that those evils exist. What perpetuates those things? Well, nothing quite as much as religion does.
Correct. Yeah. So, congrats.
Well done, everybody.
I'm not sure if we answered those, but I think we did.
Did we get all 11? Or did we get none of them?
Let me tally. Let me go back and tally. Yeah, looks like we did.
We got all... Okay, well, sorry, try again next week.
Straw man.
It's time for the straw man. It's the straw man countdown. Ba-da-da-da, ba-da-da-da-da.
So the worst song for a segment ever, but good job.
I thought it was kind of funny.
It was good.
Thanks. All right, here we go.
Thank you very much.
I hit the wrong one. So for everyone who doesn't know, we have Godless Iowan on every week to present his videos of the week. It's 5 and a +1. But this week, the +1 was not better than the #1 select. So I'm just fucking with it. It was, you'll see what I mean.
I wonder, can anybody figure it out?
Shit, I don't hear anything. Hang on. Let me fix that.
I can do it. Hello, Hellbound friends.
Hello, Hellbound friends. It's time for another Straw Man Top 5 +1 video countdown. Starting out this week at number 5 is Genetically Modified Skeptic. Her argument for hijab accidentally backfires. GM Skeptic returns to the list with a fantastic video that tries to assert women would be far better off if they stopped worrying about having so much freedom. This argument doesn't even last long enough for the woman giving it to finish her video. Such an awesome video from GM Skeptic that I just sawed this boat in half!
This joke might be in poor taste, but I think it might be the experience of most women in the Islamic world that they rarely get to finish. Okay, moving on.
4. Scientist Mel, The Science of Aging. Another great video from Scientist Mel. In this one, she delves into the topic of aging. Why do we age? Can we stop the aging process? Why do I look so old? Okay, that last one was my own question, and it doesn't get answered, but it's still a fantastic stream. Number 3. Pikachu the Atheist, Being Gay is a Choice. Really? Another one that's new to the countdown is Pikachu the Atheist, who brings a great response video to the table. Is being gay a choice?
Is being gay a choice?
For some people, yes. I've had many individuals that have chosen to be gay for a set length of time, and then when it was over, they went back to not being gay. So yes, sometimes gay is sometimes being gay is a choice.
Gay for pay? Yeah, but I'd say typically not. It's actually
typically no, but
there's obviously always some level of nature and nurture, but then also level of choice. Like growing up, I didn't touch the gay side of my orientation because having a broad sexual spectrum, I liked women, and I still do, so I didn't have to, and I was satisfied enough not. But then you find out...
touched you.
Then you find out, like, first of all, when you meet a master of the prostate, it ain't gonna be a girl. All right, moving on.
Oh, well, I need some kind of, like, sound drop. Hold on. Go ahead.
Okay.
According to some bad apologists it is. Great video, and I look forward to more from this channel. Number 2. Noel Plum, Worst Christian Defense Ever. Noel Plum is one of my favorite channels. I always find his videos informative, interesting, and well done. However, this one is hilarious. I don't want to give anything away, so help me Bob, but just watch this video. Number 1.
Excellent.
Mr. Atheist, 7 Signs You'll Be an Atheist. Mr. Atheist comes at us with 7 signs that you might be catching the atheist. It's a well-produced video, and I couldn't agree more with the signs provided, as I fit every single one of these signs at one point in my life. Amazing video. Thank you. Video of the week. Cyrus the Skeptic, Rant Time. Issues with Philosophy. Cool Hard Logic explodes with this rant, responding to the...
Anyway, fuck that guy. No, I'm kidding. I'll let it finish. But that was what Cyrus... I actually haven't seen the video yet, but I guess I'll lose to Cyrus this week.
Those who proclaim their hatred of philosophy. I absolutely loved it. And I also appreciate that this was in part a defense of some of the issues I've had since starting my own philosophy series. Incredible video from Cyrus. Great job.
I haven't watched it, and I will never say I hate philosophy, but of the atheist debates we have, I think most of the philosophy debates, obviously if you're excluding, when we're talking about philosophy, I think it's clear we're talking about things like alternatives to religion, and we're not talking about, because people are like, science is a philosophy. I get all of that.
Right.
That's not what we're talking about. I think those discussions are the most boring to me. Like, Absolutely. If one more person wants to do the Kalam with me, go fuck yourself. I don't care.
It is. You know, there are people that like it. You know, it's a niche thing, I think. But for the most part, people don't want that. It comes across almost as fake sometimes. You know what I mean? Like you're looking for a word to deem what's happening right now, and you take that word, and neither one of you will leave that word until you both agree on it, and you can't get past to the rest of the debate. Sometimes people just want you to come in gunslinging and beat the fuck out of each other, and not really focus on the words. It's about the punches.
And I've seen some really good philosophy videos. I'm not pretending they don't exist. What I don't like is sometimes you kind of have atheists do what theists do. Theists do this thing where it's like, hey, we have faith, but so do you. And then they, and really it's an admission to themselves that like, we know faith is unreasonable, but let me project it onto you. I think there's some level of philosophical projection that way too, that it's like, yeah, I totally agree. We need to have these spiritual conversations. And that's the times where I get annoyed with, like, Sam Harris has done that a little bit in the past. And that's when I'm like, Sam, fuck off, dude.
I agree. It has its place. You know what I mean? Like, there's no arguing that it's got its place in aspects. But it's a thing that some people get into, some people don't. And for the most part, like you said, they're dull. They don't go anywhere.
They bore me. Owen in the live chat, I think, summarized it well. Don't be too dogmatic with philosophy. That's good. I have a feeling that Cyrus and I have talk all the time. So I'm sure we're not far off from each other on these things. I'm not saying the premise of his video is wrong.
Cyrus and Ocean have a podcast coming out, by the way.
Oh, that's exciting.
So
I love both of those.
Looking forward to
that. Let's let Godless finish off his thing. Godless Iowan. I shouldn't just say Godless. There's a million of them.
Finish
so
on
those
me,
are the videos of the week. If you feel like I missed anything, let me know in the comments below. Also, you can follow me at my own channel, The Godless Iowan, or check out my blog for more videos, www.theiowaAtheist.blog. And you can always follow me on Twitter at The Godless Iowan. Thanks for watching, and don't panic.
I wonder why he keeps saying don't panic. Usually when people say that, it's because there's something that we should be panicking about. What are you hiding, Godless Iowan?
Are you pulling a Kellyanne Conway on me right now, Iowan? Don't you KC me right now, Kellyanne Conway. You can KC me like Caitlin Chloe. That's fine.
I get it. It was good. It was
Thanks.
good. I like
All
it.
Right. Yeah, okay. Well, on that awkward-ass joke, as you know, every week Kyle gives a segment of wisdom and something that will specifically be a big pick-me-up through the week, because we all go through these slow, tough weeks every week. And so this is his thought of the week, that as you're having those sort of down moments, something to think about. Kyle, take it away.
Absolutely. When you are facing situations in which you're unsure, we all do it. We wake up some mornings. We don't even know how that afternoon's going to go. But there are some things that you can get involved with where you could be worrying. My grandfather used to tell me that worrying is like a rocking chair. It gives you something to do, but it won't get you anywhere. Instead of worrying, actually train your mind to take those risks. Don't be scared. And the way that I try to live my life would be by my favorite quote, and that would be to just leap, because the net will appear.
That's beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you for preparing that. So as always, you've been watching CNN. I'm Henderson Pooper, and this is my co-host,
Fucker Carlson.
Good night, everybody.